Hi, Chris. Just replying to your notes about the appeal. Yeah, it sounds like she was really well educated, and if she had had any real integrity, she would have founded Lauren's favor. In my own case, it was a three-member panel. Now, the way it works is the vice chair is actually supposed to be quasi ambivalent. They're not supposed to go either way. Their main deal there is for if there's a tie, then they're the tiebreaker. Either way. Now, the fellow who sat in my appeals name was Guy Downey. Now, I didn't know it, but apparently Mr. Downey also sat on one of Josh Thurston's appeals. Only he didn't sit as a vice chair. He sat for the companies. So you have Mr. Downey, you have another person who's supposed to be quasi or semi ambivalent, not supposed to go either way, and then you have the person that sits for the company, or i.e. business. And then you have the person that sits for labor, which is the unions. Only at the time, I was not union. I quit the union. I was no longer union. So, but even still, they're supposed to be there on behalf of labor, not me, but labor in general. But like I said, as it turns out, Mr. Downey, he sat for 5 or 6 years on behalf of the employers. So do you think I got a fair appeal? No, I didn't. Because I had, i.e., the person there that was sitting for business, the employer, and then I had Mr. Downey, who is slanted towards the employer. And I don't know how they said it was unanimous. Well, if they probably bullied the union person into voting their way, but he wouldn't have voted for me anyways because I wasn't union. I was not union. So these panels are made up of people that are paid off by WCB. You're not going to get fairness out of them. You're not going to get nothing out of them. You're going to get screwed. Lauren got what I got and what many other people got. Screwed. Now, what I believe is we have to get completely away from WCB. Number one, the appeals board should have nothing to do with WCB. Absolutely nothing. They shouldn't even be allowed to sit on the panel because they're biased in favor of the employer. You want somebody that's sitting there that isn't biased against, they're not for anybody. But they will look at the merits of the case and judge it accordingly. That's what you want. Now, that's not the way it goes. Now it's all in favor of the employer. There was probably not one person on your husband's case that was for him. They're all if the person that was there representing labor gets out of line, then the other two jump on him, yada yada yada, and that's the way it goes, and you get nothing. And your appeal is just the appeals process in the WCB is nothing but a dog chasing its own tail. And that's exactly what it's meant to be. It's put there expressly to discourage you, either to the point of suicide, or you get so disgusted you go back to work. If you're strong enough, you go back to work and you forget about it. That's what it's there for. It's not there to give you what you're entitled to. It's there to defraud you. The WCAT should be totally independent. It should be made up of 3 Supreme Court judges. Retired. That way, they couldn't bully them. For one thing, they're not; those people are less likely to break the law because, hey, they've dealt with the law their whole life and they followed the letter of the law. And if you try bullying them, they're going to tell you to pound sand. And they're going to, they might not even, still might not find in your favor, but at least you'll be getting a judgment out of somebody that knows how to judge, not some harebrained idiot like what I had, who didn't know which side of the hoop to jump on. Now, that's one part of it. I actually believe that the WCB should only be allowed to allot the money, the finance part of it. I don't believe they should be involved in your case at all. It should be a totally independent body, away from the employer and everybody. The WCB takes in the contribution from the employers, and they apply it and they invest it or whatever. And again, there again, they should be. It's supposed to be like a ICBC where they invest and then they pay out, and whatever's left they reinvest, and that's the way it goes. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening is these people are becoming super wealthy and independent of everything, even the government, because the government has given them this kind of power. This is what we got to stop. Now, in my belief, the WCB should be nothing but to take contributions off employers. They should do nothing but inspect the job sites to make sure that everything is being done safely, and give out the funds. When they're told to write the check, they write the check, that's it. Nothing more. They're not allowed to adjudicate, they're not allowed to involve themselves. That's the way it should be. But instead, these people, they don't have time to inspect job sites because they're too busy making money. They're making a killing. I mean, you haven't seen it yet, but take a look at the injured workers all across Canada site where I listed some of their investments, 2001. I mean, hey, it's an RSP, all on its own, and most of it is a foreign investment. They don't even invest in their own country with the employer's money. They're making a killing. They're making a killing. And the employer's not going to say anything about it because it's still cheap. No matter what those people do to them, it's still cheaper than the tort system. Now, I don't agree with taking it back to the tort system because it would cause a huge problem. But if they don't straighten out the WCB Act and get the injured workers what's rightfully theirs, then yes, I do think that we should go back to the tort system. And then full steam ahead. Damn the torpedoes and full steam ahead. Because we're not getting any kind of justice here. We're getting screwed. Now you hear they all want to debate the Green Party now. All of a sudden, because of the public uproar, even from their own party members. Because these assholes were trying to, they were trying to deny democracy and freedom and the rights to a Canadian citizen. Now Jack Layton, he says, oh, I don't care. Well, it was a different story before, and the Bloc, they were threatened to walk out, and the Liberals, none of them wanted to debate Elizabeth May, but all of a sudden now they're going to allow her. Who the fuck are they? That's what I'd like to know. Who the fuck are they? This is our country. Our fathers fought for this country. That democracy that they're giving to Elizabeth May. She had the right. They can't give her nothing. It infuriates me when they start playing with the freedoms and liberties that way, because they're just going Nazi. They're just becoming Nazi, and that's what this whole thing is all about. They're a bunch of fascists that are denying a bunch of injured people. 250,000 or whatever number I think it is of us, we're being denied our civil rights in this country. But every time they want to vote, they'll give you your rights. Oh yeah, for then. And then after that it's denied.